and trivia. Please make welcome Cowboy Ron.
Well, good morning. I hope you're going to have a nice week. The sun is bright and shiny out here in Snowflake. Temperature got down to about, I think 17 last night. You can see us miles away. Okay, today we're going to talk about World War III, the Biden pardon. I guess that came across the news last night. And talk a little bit about Trump's picks, and let's talk about news. The news media, mainstream, looks like they're going downhill. But as you can remember, I predicted about 3 years ago on my blog site that President Biden would get us in to World War III. Now, I did not mean that he would go start it, but I meant he would let things escalate to a point there would be a crisis, and then he would be like the cavalry coming over the hill, straighten it out, and that would boast his popularity. But, you know, these wars, as I mentioned, the First World War, 19 million people died. The Second World War, 20-some years later, 50 million died. So if you stretch that out 70 years on a progressive platform, it would show we're going to lose 1.5 billion when we go into World War III. And of course, we don't want that to happen. But some of the things you know that's happened now, North Korea, which is another dictator, they call him Rocket Man, he has given Putin 10,000 troops. Okay. Now, Ukraine has now been in contact with South Korea. If South Korea throws in troops, would it not be true that North and South Carolina, North and I haven't woke up yet. North Korea and South Korea is now at war. They're just using somebody else's playground to conduct it. Will this escalate? Well, the 10,000 troops that North Korea provided are really untrained. So in all probability, Ukraine will massacre them. Well, then it goes up another notch. Ukraine launched its first Russia, its first long-range rocket inside Ukraine. So they've up a notch. And President Biden has given Ukraine permission to use their weapons to penetrate deeper into Russia. Well, how do we get to World War III then, Cowboy Ron? Well, you got 2 countries fighting there, a couple countries in Israel, and now if you're going to get North Korea and South Korea fighting, then a miscalculation. Don't get many wars. Sister Bernard used to always tell us that wars are started over ships. She was thinking about Lusitania during the First World War that got us in there. The Pearl Harbor, Second World War. So then if you add how many treaties each country has with another country, the United States probably has 20 different treaties around the world. Each one of these countries probably have 20. So basically almost any country goes into war, we're being tugged into it. Okay, let's talk about the Biden pardoning his son Hunter. I got mixed emotions. Is it right? Probably not. I don't think so. Would I have done it? I think most fathers would have considered it, especially if the son had been drug-free for 5 years. Now, this is supposed to be a very strong pardon, for lack of legalese words, full and absolute. But now, as you know, in many plea agreements, that is voided when the defendant is called to testify against someone else, or if he's caught lying. Now, whether that works with the pardon, I don't know, but I would think it would. So he'll be called to testify before Congress, and and he'll have to watch his P's and Q's, or else he'll be charged with something else. President Trump is moving ahead at full steam, warp speed, with his major cabinet picks. About the only landmine he hit was with Congressman Gage, which he had to withdraw his Matt got out of the race. And he's got probably a bright future if there's nothing to these charges put against him. Now, Trump has vowed to cut government regulations. He has vowed to downsize government. And he's got Muse and the other gentleman, I forget his name, Salami. They know how to do it. Is there too much government waste? Absolutely. When you sit there and see we're paying $1 billion a year for unused buildings, $1 billion would go a long ways in helping senior citizens cope with this inflation. I can tell you, government, because I was a DC tour guide for 45 years, and when I went from the Capitol to the White House, it was just 1 mile, 16 blocks. I went through 31 police departments. I repeat, 31 police departments. The Park Police alone had everything they needed to control a riot. They have helicopters, motorcycle police, horse patrol, and 31 police departments within a half a mile of the Capitol. We couldn't even control a riot. Also, one more arsenal in Trump's tool bag now. The Supreme Court ruled here about 4 months ago that we could, that laws implemented through departments that did not go before Congress was not constitutional. That's basic civics. Congress passes laws, declares war, and levies taxes. So you can't have 250 agencies making their own laws. It makes life untenable for business people and just us Americans. So they got plenty to work with. That's 20 years worth of laws that they can scrap right away. Now, the only way I could put it when it comes to the Democrats, both the news media and politicians, is la land about this election. It was a mandate. I mean, you look at the map and you need sunglasses for all the red states that has been picked up. But they're blaming messaging, the pundits. Well, what kind of messaging are you talking about? You spent over $1 billion, give $2.5 million to I can't think of her name right now, Ofri. And I like her very much. She's done a lot to help poor people. But we know that they weren't going to change anything, that they were still against energy, they were still for open borders. So that tells me that they just thought that they need someone else that could lie a little bit better than the people they hired. So you want to talk about messaging? The voters sent them a message. Let's see what was good. Now listen to Vice President Harris's pep talk she give to her supporters and the American people. I didn't walk away feeling that I learned anything. I did look at her demeanor, and it came with me across as a 1970 hippie trying to explain why pot increases his intelligence and gives him a different overview. It wasn't very good. She's long gone. I don't think that she can resurrect her political career. I don't think that she can even make it as a governor in California. California's not always easy. Remember, Nixon tried to run for governor after he lost the presidency and he didn't make it. Well, this is what I had on my mind. This is Cowboy Ron saying so long. Please come back. Don't forget we got plenty of playlist.